Bring the two wooden boxes close to the installation. Unpack them and the accessories. It is best to put screws and small parts in a container. Leave the drive tower and the platform on the delivered pallet. Check that the lifting height on site corresponds to the plan. This is necessary to make sure that the assembly with the dimensions given in the drawing is possible. Consider any slopes of balconies. Mark the approximate position of the drive tower. For this installation, the relevant dimensions are 170, 960 and 170 mm. In this way you check whether there is enough space for the drive tower. Mark the plates on the front of the drive tower and unscrew them. Now you can attach the sling to the pre-installed eye-bolts on the drive tower. Lift the drive tower to the installation site using a suitable lifting device. The load is approximately 300 kg. Position the drive tower at the previously marked position and fasten it temporarily. Do not unhook the lifting gear yet. Align the tower horizontally with a mounting lever to the front and side. If the foundation is inaccurate, it may be necessary to adjust this with washers. Use a spirit level to check that the lifting height at the top stop is exactly right. If the drive tower is slightly too high, this can be compensated for with the overrun plate. If the lifting height is a little too low, correct it by lifting the door frame. When the drive tower is aligned, mount it at the upper stop using a suitable fixing material, depending on the surface. Use a spacer for overhangs on balconies. You can now safely unhook the sling and remove the eye bolts. Next, remove the lowest cover on the front of the drive tower. Caution: 2 screws are not removed. Now drill 4 holes for fixing the tower to the foundation. There are 2 fixing points at the front and 2 fixing points at the back. For the rear attachment, it may be necessary to remove the rear cover. Alternatively, as seen here, you can use the hammer drill to hammer the anchor into the hole. Then reinstall the bottom cover. The 24-volt charger is pre-mounted in the drive tower. If necessary, you can also mount it outside. For the 230-volt supply cable, drill a hole with a diameter of 22 mm at a suitable location using a step drill. Then mount the PG cable gland included in the delivery. Plug in the charger and switch on the red main switch next to the control unit. Also switch on the power for the charger's supply line. The light on the charger begins to glow. The batteries are supplied with power from now on and are continuously charged. The charger indicates this with an orange blinking light. In the next step, the safety switches of the lower door must be bridged, as the control is not yet connected to the platform. To do this, an electrical bridge must be set on the DL0 board. Unscrew the cover plate for the emergency operation at the upper stop. Activate the emergency operation by moving the black toggle switch to position 1. The lower button moves the drive system downwards, the upper button upwards. Move the platform on the wooden pallet in front of the drive tower with a lift truck or another lifting device. Position the platform exactly in front of the mounting plate of the drive tower. Align the platform perfectly in balance using underlay material and a spirit level. Use the emergency mode to bring the mounting plate to the correct height. Remove the cable ties on both sides and thread the cables outwards. Push the platform on the pallet towards the drive tower. There is a bolt on the left and right side of the drive tower that connects it to the platform. Be careful not to damage any cables. Open the door on the platform and push the mounting plate with a screwdriver to the correct position. Now screw the supplied hexagon socket screws M10 by 15 mm with spring washers from the inside into the holes provided to mechanically connect the platform and the drive tower. On the right-hand side, thread a 4-pin connector and 4 10-pin connectors for the control of the platform onto the inside of the platform. Dismantle the connection panel and thread the cables underneath. Make sure that the cables are not twisted. Now unscrew the strain relief and plug in the cables in the correct order. Pay attention to the labeling of the cables. Then screw the strain relief and the connection panel back on. The screws of the strain relief should not be tightened too much to avoid damaging the cables. Connect the 4-pole cable to a separate plug and then fasten it with a cable tie. The 2-pole plug on the left side is also threaded on the inside and connected to the cable in the platform. In the next step, use the emergency operation to lift the platform and then remove the pallet. Stop the platform at a height of about 1 meter so that the control unit is accessible. Now the electrical bridge on the DL0 board can be removed. Position the drive over plate and fix it with the M5 countersunk screws included in the delivery. Now you can hang the door and insert the 2 bolts. These are additionally secured with M5 pan head screws. Test whether the door lock closes smoothly. If necessary, adjust the safety bolt using the slotted holes. Finally, the cover caps can be attached. There are 2 ways to set the lifting height: with limit switches at the top and bottom or with an encoder. If the lifting height at the installation site is exactly the same as specified in the order form, no adjustments are necessary. If the height differs, it must be readjusted during installation. We recommend using the limit switches for this. The alternative with the encoder is explained below. The example shows how to proceed if the lifting height is set too high. X works. To access the upper limit switch, the side cover plate must be removed. For the lower limit switch, the front plate must be removed. The screws must be screwed from the inside and are located on the right-hand side when viewed from below. Mark the current position of the limit switch with a pencil. To determine the upper stop, open the screws of the limit switch so that it can be moved easily. Bring the platform to the desired lifting height. Push the limit switch down until it switches and mark this position as well. Move the lift downwards until the screws can be reached. If the switch has moved, use the markings to reposition it, then tighten the screws again. To avoid errors, also readjust the door zone switch. To estimate the required distance, use the 2 markings you made for the end switch and move the door zone switch the same distance. Finally, check that the door zone switch is activated before the limit switch. The lower stop is set using the same principle. Setting the lifting height with the encoder is necessary for units with more than 2 stops, but can always be used as an alternative to the limit switches if desired. If this option is not relevant for you, you can skip to the next chapter. Make sure that the emergency lowering is deactivated and both doors are closed. Move the platform with the remote control to the lower stop. It is moving slowly. Once at the lower stop, the door unlocks. Enter the platform and close the door again. Press the white service switch on the control board to enter programming mode. In the menu, Station Configuration, you will find the option Test Drive Stat. Confirm by pressing the Enter button twice. The following message appears on the display: ST0 greater than 0. Press the command button on the platform to move upwards. Stop about 50 mm before the upper stop. Press the command button again. The platform continues to move slowly. When the desired exit height is reached, release the button. The door does not open yet because the programming has not been completed. Press the Enter button on the board for 5 seconds to finish the learning drive and then confirm again with Enter. The learning drive is completed, and the platform moves slowly to the lower stop. Deactivate the white service switch to finally complete the programming. Do not forget to test the function of the contact bars and the safety floor for free movement. The emergency stop switch must function properly. The door should open and close smoothly. Remove the cover caps for the installation. Install the included remote control at a position that is easily accessible for the customer. Repeat the process if several controls were ordered. Test whether the operation works smoothly. At the upper stop, screw the cover plate of the emergency operation back on. Continue with the covers on the inside of the platform. Be careful with the covers on the outside of the platform. They are not identical. We recommend measuring the smaller section at the top. Finally, reattach the plates to the front of the drive tower. Pay attention to the previously made markings. Now remove all protective foils. Finally, clean the unit with a suitable cleaning product. Now the Sigma is installed. Lehner wishes you great success with the installation.